So many times when we're kind of looking at purchasing something, especially in the future here, you're going to be kind of tasked with a couple different options. There could be a lot of like in-store promotions or different sort of options when it comes buying to, higher priced items. So a lot of the events that you'll see, like at Home Depot, Lowe's, maybe sometimes Best Buy, stuff like that, is that they'll offer, financing if you go through a certain credit card, either maybe a store credit card or a different type of credit card that might be incentivized purchasing with that. Remember, credit cards get money by having people spend money with them and then essentially rack up debt, and that's how they're going to get that money. So if you can use like a store credit card, well then instead of giving your money to, I don't know, Visa, um, like MasterCard, other things like that, you're giving it to whoever is offering a Visa or a MasterCard or whatever the type of credit card is through that particular store. So here's kind of a scenario. So we're buying a new television, $1,025. And that's everything said and done. So that's including taxes as well. And you want to maybe purchase an extended warranty for an additional $55. You're allowed to make monthly payments of $80. That's what you can afford. And you're kind of met with two options. A store credit card, so kind of like a special incentivized offer that has an interest rate of 14% for 6 months. And then after that 6-month period has 19% compounded daily. Option two would be bank credit card that includes the extended warranty. So sometimes you'll see that, credit cards, if you read the fine print, they'll actually include sort of like extended warranties on manufacturer items. So this could happen on all purchases. And then the interest rate is 20% compounded daily. So kind of the question is like, which one would you be better off with doing? Or is there a clear option one, option two that's better? So let's kind of break down and let's get the costs for both option one and option two. And let's just start with option one. So we know that he's going to want to do an extended warranty with this as well. So let's go ahead and let's do our TVM solver just as we normally would. And let's figure out what our input values are. So let's go N, we'll do I. And this is again, just showing your work of how we use our TVM solver. PV, PMT, FV, P over Y, and C over Y. Okay, so we know a couple things here. Now, first off, for option one, it's kind of broken up into two things. You should see that we have an interest rate of 14% for 6 months. So we're not allowed to really combine these interest rates. So we're going to have to basically split this question up into two things. One with the interest rate of 14%, and then one with the interest rate compounded daily after that. So let's go ahead and let's see what happens. For the interest rate, for the first little bit, we're going to set this to be our 14%. Our PV amount, that's going to be the amount of money that he's going to be spending on this. So in this kind of a question, I like to keep my negatives and positives just kind of acting the same. So in terms of PV, he's getting this as credit. So I like to always keep this as positive. If you want to do something different, that's fine, but just kind of make sure that you can read what your pluses and minuses mean. So in this case, here's the purchase of the TV, $1,025, and then there's your extended warranty, because since he's going to put this on that credit card as well. We don't really get a choice of PMT. He says that he can afford $80 a month, so we're just $80. Payments per year, he's paying monthly, so it's going to be 12, and then compounds per year. Since we're just in the 14% interest range, we're only doing this for 6 months, and then 19% compounded daily. So we're going to have a compounded daily here, so that's going to be 365. And we really don't quite know what our future value is going to be. He's not going to be able to pay this off in 6 months, so we're going to actually end up solving for this. I'm going to come back to this one in a second because I just want to talk about N. In terms of N, we know that he's doing this for 6 months, right? That's what the 14% is, and he's paying every month. So his number of payments, N, is going to be our 6 times. It's going to be 6 months times. It's just going to be 1 really. When I'm saying this here is that he's doing 1 payment per month, and it's going to do for 6 months. I suppose I could have split this up into like 6 divided by 12 times 6, but I would have gotten to be the same thing anyways, if that kind of makes sense. So I'm just going to say it's 6 payments. It's 6 payments because we're doing it 1 payment per month. I hope that kind of makes sense of how I'm thinking about that. For the future value, we're going to go ahead and solve for this one. So let's go ahead and let's put this into our TVM solver and let's see what its future value is going to be after those first 6 months. So let's go ahead and put in our apps, finance, TVM solver. Our N is going to be 6 for 6 months. Our I is going to be 14 for 14%. Our PV is going to be 1080. Our PMT is negative 80. We're going to come back to F over V, or FE, sorry. We got 12 for payments per year, and the compounds per year, it's compounded daily, so it's going to be 365. Let's go ahead and let's solve for our future value. So its future value after just these initial 6 months is going to be equal to, I'm going to put the negative in here, negative $663.99. So this is what he's going to owe after 6 months. You could have also kind of represented this as the balance as well. After 6 months. So now option 1 kind of goes and it kind of starts all over again. So option 1 is a little bit more advanced because we're going to start this all over again, and this is going to be continued to be option 1, but kind of like extended. Option 1 continued because obviously his TV is not paid off yet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set it up in a TVM solver again. Same variables, still got to represent our work by just putting in all of these. P over Y, C over Y. But then we see that this future value that we saw for after the 6 months, this is going to come into our PV. Now, technically this was negative here because he still owes that, but then since it's transferred over, this is going to become positive since it's credit, and that's what he's going to continue to pay off. So again, in this case, just make sure that you can understand what the negatives and positive means. It means he still owes this, but then it's still being financed, so that becomes the credit again. Interest, unfortunately, is going to get up to 9. Our PMT is still going to be negative 80. In this case, our future value is actually going to be 0 because we're going to want to pay off this entire TV. He's doing monthly payments, so 12 per year. And again, the compounds are going to be 365 now. So in terms of number of payments here, we actually get to solve for this one now. So let's go ahead and let's put our solve down for this, since we don't actually know how long it's going to take him. So I'm going to go up to my interest. I'm going to put 19 now. My PV, I'm going to set this at 663.99, right? That was our future value from before. PMT stays the same. Future value is actually going to be 0 this time, and we're going to leave the rest of them. So let's go back up to N and let's solve for that now. So it looks like it's going to take an additional 8.97 months. 8.97 months. Right, so he really wouldn't be able to pay it off in 8 months. We're going to round this up to be 9 months so that the TV is actually paid off in full. And again, I know it's months because my value of P over Y is sort of in units of months. So we want to make sure that these kind of coincide together. If this is 12, then really my units are months over there. So we get 9 months. Altogether, it's going to take him 15 months to pay off the TV, right? 6 months for the introductory interest and then 9 months continuing. If we wanted to, we can certainly calculate the interest that the gentleman would be paying for the TV. We don't actually need to use the calculator in terms of the interest formula for this one. We already know what he's paying per month, and we technically do know the exact amount of months that he's paying it for. It's 15 months to pay off. Technically, I really should do, for the interest level, as for this type of calculation, I should really say that this is 6 plus 8.97 so that we get an accurate interest measurement, since that last month's not going to be a full 80 bucks. It's going to be very, very close, but it's not going to be a full 80 bucks. So let's go ahead and let's get the total cost that he paid. Total cost paid. And I know the question isn't asking this, but this can kind of like strengthen an argument if this question was sort of like, hey, what option should he do? Total cost would be equal to the 80 bucks he's paying per month, and he's doing this for 6 plus 8.97 months. We know that should be 15, but on that 15th month, he's not actually paying a full 80. He's paying like very, very close to it, but not exactly. So for this measurement, I'm going to use the exact amount of months. That would be 14.97. Oh, I put a plus sign. I should put a multiply sign. There we go. So for this TV, After this 15 months, he's going to be paying $1197.60 in full. If the TV cost originally was only $1080, then we can just subtract these two numbers and we can figure out how much interest it was. Oh, let's back that up a little bit there. 7, that looks good. Yeah, we're fine. So it's $117.60 in interest. So let's just kind of recap this one. I'll do a part 2 for option 2 then. It's going to take him 15 months to pay it off. Technically, that's 6 plus 8.97 months, which is an interest of $117.60. He gets his extended warranty, and he's using a store credit card. So I'm going to do another video just in part 2, top on which one would be better.